at the moment. This attempt at synergy is the word, the buzzword. Rahul Srivastav, 30 ministers will handle 53 ministers. Health and chemicals to be handled by one minister. And that's significant because in the aftermath of the COVID pandemic, there were concerns over oxygen supplies. For example, how do you sort of streamline that? Now we are told that health and chemicals may well come under one ministry. Is that part of the aim that, because the Prime Minister kept talking when he came into power in 2014, I want more governance, less government. Now you have 80 ministers. There's a large number of them. Many will get insignificant portfolios. But in the significant portfolios, will there be, according to you, a real attempt made to synergize?
Rajdeep, in 2014, when Prime Minister talked about creating super ministries, the idea was to bring ministries together under one person. But if you see, two of the senior ministers who have been dropped were virtually handling too many ministries with low synergy. Now, a classic example, what the news coming in is that there is going to be synergy being created, 53 total central cabinet ministries under 30 odd ministers and 2 minister of states, independent charge. One clear indication came yesterday through a notification under which the Department of Public Enterprises was sent from the heavy industries to the Finance Ministry. Now, there is a very interesting element to it, Rajdeep. Any public sector entity disinvestment is handled by something, say, the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, that is DIPAM. But that PSU is under the heavy industries. Now, interestingly, the DPE, that is a Department of Public entity, is in the same building, one floor below the DIPAM office in the CGO complex building. But eventually, they are under 2 different ministries. They all go to the Finance Ministry for it. And there is a lot of synergy issues.
We are getting
That's
more.
where
Rahul,
one of the target of this attempt will be to create that kind of synergy.
I'm getting more breaking information because Amit Shah will be made, we are told, the Minister of Cooperation. Remember, this is expected to be, and the fine print suggests that a number of cooperatives which have been taken over by private groups, multi-sector cooperatives, according to government sources, they need to be controlled. So Amit Shah will be handling this new Ministry of Cooperation, which, remember, was announced last night. We are expecting to get more portfolio announcements in just a moment. But in all of this, there is one critical ministry, PN Vijay, which you track, Finance. The health minister has gone. What happens to finance? Now, as of now, we were told the big 4 won't be touched. Rajnath continues as defense, Jai Shankar as external affairs minister, Nirmala Sitharaman would continue as finance, and Amit Shah's home. Do you believe that if the economy is critical, if health is seen as a question mark after a change in guard, finance, does Nirmala Sitharaman's team need boosting? Does she need support with specific key ministers supporting her this time?
I think she does. Finance Ministry has become tremendously important because of the big deficits we are running, the huge outlays, and the PSU disinvestments which comes under the Finance Ministry. To be honest, there is a lot of criticism about her, but I think she's doing an extremely difficult job well. But she needs a lot of support. I think she should get very strong ministers of state to help her. And I feel, Rajdeep, this whole thing is, in fact, apart from the social engineering, I mean, this has been happening in the BJP for quite some time, This is not the first time that the perception that Modi has moved away from the Vajpayee days. The upper caste no longer hold the upper hand in the BJP.
That's been a process that began, over the last 20 years. Now
over the last 20 years, and RSS has also been encouraging it, and it's one more step in that direction. Right. I think the key thing here is that the Modi has suddenly woken up to the fact that he may not be as popular as he's made out to be. And that's because through crisis after crisis, whether it's DMOT or GST or now the COVID, his team has somehow been found wanting.
So are you saying that all the economy-facing portfolios should now be driven by people who are seen as domain experts?
I feel so because it's become a bit too complicated,
Okay.
Look at the problems Ravi Shankar Prasad has been handling. Frankly, I don't think he has the wherewithal to take on the Facebooks and the Twitters. And
He no
and
longer
all
has
sort
that.
of
His sort of fight conflict with Twitter in particular seems to have meant pressing the self-destruct
I'm sure
button.
all these things went on in the PM's mind.
Sure, but you've got
I mean,
also.
when you one side you're building bridges with Americans and taking the help of the Americans in every time,
Sure.
and you're at loggerhead with every American multinational. Well, that might have set him thinking.
But you've got also Manisha Priyam. Interestingly, you had in Sushil Modi, for example, Rajya Sabha MP from Bihar, former Deputy Chief Minister, has been Finance Minister of Bihar for years, headed the GST committee, nowhere to be seen. So you also sometimes wonder whether old vendettas are playing out, because Sushil Modi was seen to be close to Nitish Kumar, close to Advani ji. Do you also believe somewhere that the past is not entirely forgotten? All this focus on new faces, but there could have been a few more experienced hands as well.
So the power is really, on the one hand, concentrated. If you see, the key ministries have not been changed. Any of this non-performance aspect that we talk about, whether it's Ravi Shankar Prasad or Harsh Vardhan, I doubt whether they were acting out of sync with the all-powerful PMO when they acted as ministers. So the responsibility lay with the PMO, but in our system, it's ultimately the Prime Minister who leads the cabinet. But I'm asking a few more questions. Where is the talent? I think one of the important principles has been electioneering, electioneering, and electioneering. Narayan Rane, you spoke out early in the evening, the kind of track record he had. Now, let me give you the example of a lady candidate who's become a minister, Annapurna Devi. Now, she was the visible face of the RJD, very close to Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, first time in the Lok Sabha. Now, what kind of experience would she bring to any of the critical ministries? So, I would say that the core will continue to be extremely powerful. What has to be seen is that
we have
Mr. Modi's
big news. I have to stop you because we have big news coming in. Mansukh Mandavia will be the new health minister of the country from Gujarat, from a state that, of course, Mr. Modi and Amit Shah come from. Mansukh Mandavia, who's been elevated today, will be the new health minister. We are also told one minister to look after Northeast and at the moment, but Mansukh Mandavia is the new health minister of the country. Remember, chemicals and fertilizers, MOS now moves on to full cabinet rank. He gets health and the Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers. Now, what's the message that's being sent out there is interesting. I want to go to Raj Chengappa to respond to that, because Raj Chengappa, there is so much of emphasis on the health ministry at the moment. And Dr. Harsh Vardhan has paid a price today for criticism. There will be those who will say he was the fall guy. What about the role of the Prime Minister's office and the Home Ministry? And now you have Mansukh Mandavia coming in. What's the message that's coming out? I mean, is Mansukh Mandavia going to be someone who's going to be remote controlled by the PMO because of his close relations with Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah? I mean, did we need a dramatic... Is he your champion that you were looking for?
There is sense in bringing... See, what I like about is the synergetic approach. Long needed. If Mr. Modi is doing that, very welcome. And you take Mansukh Mandavia. What was he handling? He was handling chemicals and fertilizers. I suspect they'll break fertilizers out of this and possibly give it to agriculture, which is where it rightly needs to vest. Chemicals is important because pharmaceuticals come under it. What is the crux of this particular crisis in COVID? Apart from the health infrastructure, you require vaccines and you require faster development and medicines and drugs. So it makes sense for this synergy to happen and put it together. You take a look at jobs, which is the other big crisis. Which are the ministries that should deliver? I'd like to see who's going to be the Minister for Industry and particularly Commerce. Who's going to drive commerce? Industry and commerce run together. Who's that single minister that can make the difference? Then you take a look at environment. Again, you had Mr. Javadekar with information broadcasting. I don't know what the correlation was. Environment is too critical to leave to one. And if you take, it's divided. There's a power ministry. There is a non-renewable energy. They're all conflicting. I mean, coal and, coal energy and others conflict with renewable energy.
No, but I just want
to separate the two.
No,
so I think you need telecom, you take information technology. If they're bringing these synergies together and putting ministers in charge, it is the best way forward, because then
Can I-
you're not having interdepartmental sort of conflicts or the lack of communication. So I think this is a very good move if they're getting it right. I don't know how far they'll get it right.
No,
Let us see.
that's the big word. The proof of the pudding always lies in the eating. Rahul Srivastava, Mansukh Lakshman Bhai Mandavia was Union Minister of State for Port, Shipping, Waterways, Union Minister of State for Chemicals and Fertilizers. Rajya Sabha comes from Gujarat. First time came there from 2012, comes from the Saurashtra region of Gujarat. I'm just trying to understand, make sense of this. We were focusing on Health Minister. A lot of names were doing the rounds. The Prime Minister seems to have chosen someone whom he implicitly trusts at the moment, Rahul Srivastava.
Razi, one is trust, but during the COVID period, especially in April and May, when Indian
We are having a problem with your audio, Rahul. We are having a problem.
Mandavia,
We are having a slight problem with Rahul Srivastava's audio. Let me try and get that right in a moment, because remember, the key ministries included the Ministry of Health. We've had the Health Minister being replaced today. Smriti Irani retains Women and Child Development. So no change there. We are waiting to see each ministry one by one. MOSs will perhaps matter less. Remember, MOSs are often just accommodated for political interests and often to give them some kind of experience. But the one big name now coming in, Mansukh Mandavia as the Minister for Health. Amit Shah has been made Minister of Cooperation. Smriti Irani retaining Women and Child Development. What we are learning at the moment, of course, is that many of these ministries that are being put in are ministers who are close, trusted by the Prime Minister. Shankar Ayyar, when you hear the name of Mansukh Mandavia, remember he is someone who has dealt with chemicals and fertilizers. Pharma companies will also be reporting into him. So there's this attempt to synergize. This is the new buzzword that is being used, synergy. Does that make you feel a little confident as Health Minister, key Ministry of Health?
But there is an interesting synergy both in the personality and the combination of health and pharmaceuticals. I'm hoping that fertilizer is either moved to agriculture or the ministry is disbanded. Seriously, I don't think the ministry needs to exist. But in terms of, if you remember, there was a spat about vaccine production between Gadkari and other ministers, and the task of additional investments and vaccine production, how it could happen, had been articulated by Mansukh Bhai. So I think the combination of health and pharmaceuticals is interesting. What will also be important to see is what kind of alignment he brings about with the, there's going to be need for private sector involvement both in health infrastructure and in pharmaceutical productions, particularly given our dependence for inputs from China and the US. And so this is an interesting synergy. Mansukh Mandavia is known to be a go-getter. So I guess the Prime Minister is trusting him to deliver.
Interestingly, also, let me say there are 6 ministers from Gujarat. So very strong sort of representation, not surprising from a state where the Prime Minister comes from, which remember the BJP has swept and held since 1995. Rahul Srivastava, you're back with us. First reactions politically to Mansukh Mandavia becoming the Health Minister, because this will be now a very closely watched ministry. As chemicals and fertilizers, you could go under the radar. Now he will be under the focus. Give us a sense of the man.
Rajdeep, young in age, yes, there is a huge trust level, and Prime Minister knows his style of working very well. In the last in May and June, April and May, when India was struggling to get oxygen into heaving lungs, and there was shortage of various kind of medicines, at that time Mandavia played a very, very active role, and perhaps that is one reason that he has been awarded. Primarily in an attempt to create create synergy, put in a younger leader.
Okay.
Remember, Rajdeep, there is one interesting thing which has happened.
One more piece of breaking news. Sorry,
people have been brought in.
Sorry to again intervene. One more new minister coming in. Piyush Goyal has been made Textiles Minister. That's an interesting shift, because remember, Piyush Goyal held 2 very high-profile portfolios. of Commerce and Railways. He moves to textiles. We'll have to see whether he has any other additional portfolio in addition to that. But yes, Rahul, please go on. Please carry on. You're saying a lot of younger people will be given these key portfolios.
Since Rajdeep, see, one of the charges against the BJP under Narendra Modi was that there is a talent deficit. There is also another charge that there are no new leaders being created. Now, today you have a situation in which senior leaders, heavyweights, have been dropped. Now, the charge will be performance and others, but the fact is for all these new people in the council, a template has been set that this is the benchmark of delivery. If you don't, then you can perish. There is nothing called legacy. Second, in an Anurag Thakur and others, you may have leaders of tomorrow. Say, for example, Mansukh Mandavia. If he performs well as a leader handling health ministry at a time when COVID or a pandemic is there, which can test any government or any leader, you will have a new leader. I think it can well be a similar situation to what Atal Bihari Vajpayee did at one time, bringing in a lot of young new leaders from different states like Rajnath Singh and others, and eventually they have become leaders of today. I think that's where lies this attempt by Prime Minister Modi.
You know, let me explain the reasoning being given for Piyush Goyal handling Ministry of Textiles in addition to the Ministries of Commerce and Industry. So he will have additional. Let's be clear. Piyush Goyal retains Commerce and Industry. He will also have Textiles. This will be seen to bring synergies between ministries that are export-oriented, deal with trade policy and are important generators of employment. He also has Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. So he becomes a super minister. In a way, Piyush Goyal, by taking over textiles that was held by Smriti Irani, here you have the word again being used of creating ministries that synergize. The new buzzword. Delhi loves to have buzzwords during every cabinet. Ashwini Vaishnav is the new Railways Minister. Ashwini Vaishnav, remember, is an IAS officer, former IAS officer. I know that he was also handling the Marmagua Port Trust at one time. So Ashwini Vaishnav, who's also come in through the Rajya Sabha route, becomes the new Minister of Railways. So Piyush Goyal divested of Railways, but given what one can call some kind of a super ministry. A lot of talk of Ashwini Vaishnav because he's seen to have been educated abroad. He's being pushed as one of these new bureaucrats turned politicians. We've got more than half a dozen bureaucrats who've turned politicians who are in this ministry, and they are all expected to get key portfolios. Mr. Modi has enormous trust in bureaucrats who come through the political system. He tends to believe that they manage politics or they are able to be more efficient at governance. A quick word on Ashwini Vaishnav, Rahul Srivastav. Is he being seen again as one of these governance-driven faces of this government?
Yes, Rajdeep. For the last 1 month, his name has been doing the rounds, and he has worked in the PMO. Here in 2004, he was in Atal Bihari Vajpayee's office, and he is being seen as somebody who is a no-nonsense officer, 1994 batch, and initially the buzz was that he could be a minister in the Ministry of Finance, and since there are a lot of correlation problem or convergence problems in the ministry vis-a-vis states, GST and others, he could be useful. His cabinet rank is a surprise, and railways being given.
He's also got, very important, he's got a ministry that you've been tracking with your, with your friend, friend meaning a journalistic source, Ravi Shankar Prasad. He gets his old ministries, IT and communications as well. So you've brought railways, IT and communications together. Now, I'm still not clear how that works out. Communications and railways, I understand. IT, many would have thought required a special focus. Is this part of this new super ministries that are being created at the moment? Will be interesting. Ministry of Education and Skill Development. Dharmendra Pradhan has been given this very important ministry. Dharmendra Pradhan, remember, from Odisha, gets education ministry in addition to skill development and entrepreneurship. So you've got someone who is now going to be seen as handling a ministry that focuses on the young. That's the synergy here that is being suggested, that the common objective of a Dharmendra Pradhan will be to work on ministries that are seen to have a youth interface, skill development, entrepreneurship, big question marks over whether this skill development ministry was working effectively enough. And he also gets the Ministry of Education in addition. A quick response from you, Raj Chengappa, since you are worried about skill development completely being ignored. Now Dharmendra Pradhan moves from petroleum, gets education, where the RSS has always had high interest, but now gets skill development as well. So you have someone who's again being asked to handle a bit of a ministry where potential synergies exist.
I think it's a very good move to club the two. I always believed they had to be clubbed, because otherwise skill development was the stepchild of education. They had to be linked together, because at the end of the day, what are you preparing them for? Not just life, also for jobs. And skill development was a critical aspect of it. I like the synergy that has been put together in terms of having textiles with industry and commerce. Textiles is one of our biggest exports. It required the sort of drive, and it makes sense to bring it together. I think,
IT? Railways and IT, we are being told, is to ensure effective tech usage in railways for passenger safety and convenience. Now that, I still am not being able to clearly understand why. IT is much more than that, surely.
Yes, that I agree. But I think there, one needs to work out what is there. But giving railways to Ashwini is a good thing. I think he has a lot of experience. He worked in private companies that, I think Siemens, as well as this thing on locomotives. So he has that sort of corporate approach that you require.
That's right. He also was, as I said, head of a port trust. That's right.
Right. So, and therefore, I think getting IT, well, by the way, IT ministry runs by itself. You really don't need too much to do it.
That's right.
Telecom and IT, I think you need to actually have segregated, because these are two frontier areas where you require, I would think, just like a technocrat that they brought in, a real, Nandan Nilekani kind of person that can drive the huge potentials, whether it's 5G, the synergetic between, I would say great synergy.
Hopefully he might
and mix that together.
Hopefully they might have a strong MOS there also with him, one of the younger faces. Shankar Iyer, your first reaction very quickly to all these ministries being synergized.
Well, I'm happy about education and skill development being brought together. I'm hoping that they will induct the idea of apprenticeship seriously into the education curriculum. I would also like the employment ministry to be disbanded, because that is complete non sequitur. There should be a labor code, there should be labor regulations, but I don't think the ministry is really wanted, because if you want to generate employment, then you better make your ministries function better. I think that there is some amount of confusion on how railways, information technology and telecom come together. I can understand railways and communications coming together.
I have to keep going.
Information technology,
I'm going to be going
maybe not.
From time to time with due regard to all my panelists, because lots of new ministries are coming out, portfolios now. The Prime Minister has plugged the ministries relating to urban and housing affairs with petroleum. Keeping in mind, they say, the need to ensure environmentally friendly and energy efficient petrol products. And Hardeep Singh Puri, who's been Urban Development Minister, will now be in charge of urban and housing ministries and petroleum. So it's not as if the ministries, there are ministers who are being given more than one portfolio, but the attempt, they say, is being made to synergize. Now, I'm again trying to make sense of urban development with petroleum. Let's be very clear there, Shankar Iyer. Do you make sense, urban housing affairs and petroleum?
Well, ideally, again, I think we are light years away from this kind of decision. I don't know of any other country which has a ministry for petroleum. They only have regulations. But we are and we import 80% of our crude and petroleum. So the whole raison d'etre for having a Ministry of Petroleum has always defeated me. But urban development and urban housing, again, it's largely driven by private sector. But I think that there are some targeted outcomes that the Prime Minister is aiming here in urban housing, and his trust on Hardeep Puri is known. So I think that is the focus here.
Okay, interesting. PN Vijay, you want to respond to some of these synergies that are being now effected by the government? Do they make sense to you? Do you believe that they allow for better governance? Or do we just have too many ministries? You're on mute.
Yeah, I was out of the program for so long, I put it on mute.
Come on. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. You see, synergy is always important. I mean, if you look at delivery, so from that point of view, getting chemicals along with health, getting skill development along with education, these make a lot of sense. But the last announcement, urban development with petroleum just doesn't make any sense. There is no synergy. Interestingly, this focus on railways is excellent. But I would imagine IT and telecom is so important with the introduction of 5G and so many things happening in the IT sector. It deserves a separate minister. And I'm surprised it is still tagged on with railways.
Okay, more news coming in. More news coming in. Jyotiraditya Scindia, we were looking very closely at what he would get. Remember, moved in from the Congress a year ago to the BJP. He gets civil aviation. It's a ministry which his father held many years ago. Civil aviation. Madhav Rao Scindia was once civil aviation minister. Now his son gets the civil aviation ministry. Remember, it comes at a time when there's been much talk about disinvestment of Air India. But is this again a ministry which is seen as a ministry that will drive the new economy forward? Huge question mark over that. Whether Jyotiraditya Scindia as civil aviation minister, how much can he do in a ministry where the key at the moment seems to be to ensure the disinvestment of Air India? Rahul Srivastava, try and make sense of that for us. Jyotiraditya Scindia, there was a lot of talk that he might get commerce or he might get railways. He's got civil aviation instead. Is that being seen again as an important ministry for this government, or is it being seen more in the context of disinvestment of Air India?
Yes, Rajdeep. See, for the last 1 month at least, civil aviation, whenever civil aviation was talked about, it was Jyotiraditya Scindia. Though there was a buzz that Scindia expected something heftier. But if you look at the civil aviation sector, Rajdeep, it's a very critical sector. On one hand, you have an albatross like Air India, which they started disinvesting in 2018, but because of 2019 election, ki janta kya kahegi ki family jewelry bechi ja rahi hai, it was put on hold. Then after the attempts, there were virtually no buyers. A new mechanism is in place that has to be done. Because of the pandemic, virtually every existing airline is struggling. You have got something as good as a Jet Airways at one time, which is shut down. So that entire sector is facing a threat. And remember, it's a huge employer. Now, if tourism and other development is a focus of this government, how can aviation be a low priority?
No, we still don't know whether he's getting tourism in addition to civil aviation. At the moment, what we are being told by government sources, civil aviation needs a young, fresh, dynamic face to take the country forward in the context of New India. Now, I understand your entire point about employment, but it requires tourism. Tourism has been a critical sector that has been hit the worst in this pandemic. I don't hear of who's going to be the new tourism minister, Rahul Srivastava. And if you are going to club ministries, then as has been in the past, why not club civil aviation and tourism? So there is at the moment no clarity whether civil aviation and tourism will be clubbed together, because that, to my mind, will completely make some sense. But, Raj Chengappa, you want to come in at the moment? You're looking at these ministries. Jyotiraditya Scindia, there was talk he might become the new health minister. He's getting civil aviation. And it's a ministry which his father held. It's high profile at one level, but it's also a ministry, it's also a sector in a crisis. Does he also need to have tourism to, in a way, bring the synergies? You can't have synergies in some departments and no synergies in the other.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, he should get that. Sometimes they say tourism and culture is a good synergy. That they need to work out. But let's not forget, civil aviation is still a very important ministry. And as you rightly said, it's in crisis. There is a huge task of disinvesting in Air India, which probably might be taken out of their hands soon. But if you look at the way the development of airports right across the country, this is going to be a form of transport where India can do outstandingly well. If you really expand it, whether it's the hub and spoke approach, India should become. Why is there, why is, for instance, Dubai a hub and spoke? Why is Singapore a hub and spoke? Why not India? Why aren't we developing this whole connectivity business? I think it requires the kind of mind of someone as, Scindia is, to refashion the entire aviation industry. This is an industry, as you said, both job employment has tremendous potential. It is the transport of the future.
Okay.
I mean, people will use a lot of it. So you need someone like Scindia. They're going to bring radical reform in civil aviation. And don't forget, it's just not about getting airliners to do it. It's the entire ground network that you have to do. Your connectivity in cities, how do you then, if people are flying internationally, we are a great, India can be.
Okay,
as I said,
I'm getting more
airlines.
news. I'm sorry to intervene. Getting
Yeah,
more
no
news.
worries.
The Prime Minister himself will handle Ministry of Science and Technology. Remember, Dr. Harshvardhan, in addition to health, was handling science and technology. The Prime Minister will handle it. Purushottam Rupala, also from Gujarat, gets dairy, not dairy. I have to tell my producer, you've got to get your typos right. Dairy and Fisheries Ministry. No, not dairy. That's Hawala Dairy. It's dairy and Fisheries Ministry goes to Purushottam Rupala. And he's a heavyweight from Gujarat. OBC face, was BJP president for a while, gets dairy. But I'm also getting to know, and that's important, as I tell my producer, the Prime Minister is likely to handle the Science and Technology Ministry on his own. So that's an important development as well in an area which is, which is seen as futuristic. Just to get a quick word from our two political pundits who have been looking closely, because we are entering all these individual ministries. Sandeep Shastri, Manisha Priyam, very quick 30 seconds input. Sorry to have kept you all on hold for so long. Professor Shastri, are you getting any big picture from all these names? Any big picture coming in at all?
The portfolio's distribution, I think there are two factors or two logics in play. You're trying to rationalize ministries and give it to people you trust. Therefore, you have a Hardeep Puri.
Sir, your audio is a problem. I'm sorry, we have to get your audio fixed. I'm getting your audio fixed. Manisha Priyam, any quick 30-second comment on what you've seen so far?
So far it's quite clear that there is a hub and spoke model that's operating in the governance reforms, but these ministries, these super ministries, are being given to trusted hands. So much for the representation and social diversity. Governance will be with chosen, selected few hands,
Right.
and the Prime Minister is taking responsibility. Science and technology has a natural convergence with education and skill development. I would see Dharmendra Pradhan really working very closely with the Prime Minister. The Education Ministry is going to be a ministry of transformation.
No, because
the new
in the
education
past,
policy
I
on
have
the
to
line
stop
for
you
the
because
Prime
we are getting
Minister.
again more news. Remember, in the past, education has been associated very much with the RSS's cultural agenda. Will Dharmendra Pradhan follow that? That remains to be seen. But the news we are getting, Meenakshi Lekhi is getting his MOS for External Affairs and also gets culture. The New Delhi MP, gets MOS External Affairs. Meenakshi Lekhi is MOS External Affairs. Now, MOS is, remember, Dr. Jaishankar is the minister, and he's been a very active external affairs minister as a former foreign secretary. But Meenakshi Lekhi, lawyer, gets the Ministry of State for External Affairs. We're getting lots of little information that comes in at the moment. One of the reasons for Purushottam Rupala, and it's interesting that it's been given, these are how the government is responding, that he hails from Gujarat, the state with the longest coastline, and where the dairy sector has been advanced. These are sectors close to the Prime Minister's heart, and therefore he wants someone who's close to him in that particular ministry. So Meenakshi Lekhi, a bit of a surprise. Some thought that she might get one of the more ministries that were connected to infrastructure, we were told, possibly getting culture, but she gets MOS, MEA and culture. Rahul Srivastava, Meenakshi Lekhi is one of those many BJP ministers who's a two-time minister. Now, the other one that we are getting, Anurag Thakur, is the new sports minister. So, India on the eve of the Olympics. And remember, up to now, Kiran Rijiju has been the face of sports and youth affairs in the run-up to the Olympics in particular. He has been elevated to cabinet rank, but so has Anurag Thakur, gets sports and youth affairs independent charge. So, Anurag Thakur from Himachal Pradesh was in the Ministry of Finance. Remember, and he gets INB. So Anurag Thakur will be sports, youth affairs and INB. So an interesting combination there has been created where Anurag Thakur becomes sports, youth affairs and information and broadcasting. Now we're trying to understand the synergies there, because remember, INB is one of the ministries that has been seen as a weakness of this government in terms of the fact that they were not able to set the agenda, was the concern being expressed in government quarters. The minister in charge, Prakash Zavadekar, has been removed. Anurag Thakur is the new minister for INB. Anurag Thakur is someone who has been a BJP Yuva Morcha leader as well. He is also a great sports fan, particularly cricket. Remember, he was also briefly president of the BCCI. Anurag Thakur is also someone who was MOS in the finance ministry. He now moves to sports, culture, sports and youth affairs, and INB, important ministry for Anurag Thakur. So he gets a real lift. Giriraj Singh from Bihar gets rural development. So Giriraj Singh gets the rural development ministry. It was another minister in another time from that state itself, the RJD's minister, who had really taken that ministry to Raghuraj Singh, who had taken that ministry to another level. So Anurag Thakur gets sports and youth affairs. Giriraj Singh gets rural development. Again, trying to understand some of these changes, Rahul Srivastav, please explain. Anurag Thakur has had quite a dramatic rise in recent times. He was not in the picture in the Modi government 2014 to 19. Now he's been MOS Finance, now gets independent charge, sports, youth affairs and INB. Where's the synergy? I'm trying to again understand between sports and INB.
Rasip, I think, see, his sports credentials are known, that he has dealt with sports, has been a sports administrator, so he can bring certain amount of new energy into that ministry. INB, one can say about Anurag. Anurag is a young leader. He can be cultivated into a promising leader. And INB, he has friends across the media. But then, I think one warning for Anurag Thakur will be that Suchana aur Prasaran khel nahi hai.
Anurag Thakur captained a team of the...
Especially in this government.
He captained a team of the MPs when I was captaining the media team, and I can tell you he was very competitive because we won the match, and he said, next time I'm going to bring in all the former test players who have been ministers, the likes of, or politicians, the likes of Navjot Sidhu. So very, very competitive, and he is in the INB and sports and youth affairs. Very keen sports person. So the sports ministry will definitely benefit from Anurag Thakur there. Pashupati Paras gets food processing. Now, this is interesting because remember, the split has taken place in recent weeks in the Lok Janshakti Party. Ramvilas Paswan had consumer affairs and food processing. Consumer affairs, food processing at that time was with Harsimrat Kaur. Pashupati Paras now gets the food processing ministry, and I'm told he's got it out of the JDU quota, as it's being called. So these ministries are also being given as handouts to a few allies here and there. The core ministries remain with the BJP. I think we have to be very clear in that this is very much a BJP government at the end of the day. But a big shift, Prakash Zavadekar is out, and Anurag Thakur will have to ensure a more media-friendly image. Remember, Kiran Rijiju, the Arunachal MP, was earlier sports and youth affairs, perhaps looking forward to going to Tokyo for the Olympics, but maybe Anurag Thakur now will go there in his place. We'll have to see what happens there, but those are the interesting changes that are taking place. Dharmendra Pradhan, another big mover today in this ministerial reshuffle, ironically on a day when petrol prices have gone over ₹100 in the four metros of this country. Mansukh Mandavia, big name and big move. Hardeep Puri, as we said, has now got petroleum and gas in addition to urban affairs and housing. So, okay, another new minister, Bhupendra Yadav, right-hand man of Amit Shah during organization of elections, gets the Labour Ministry. Lawyer, Rajya Sabha MP from Rajasthan, Bhupendra Yadav gets the Labour Ministry. Remember, Santosh Gangwar had earlier resigned, so Bhupendra Yadav becomes the new Labour Minister of the country. Bhupendra Yadav is seen to be very closely associated with the BJP's election management, and one of the messages perhaps that has gone out is a lot of people from who've done well on election management are now being asked to test their skills when it comes to governance. So Bhupendra Yadav getting the Labour Ministry as we speak. So those are the big ministry shake-ups. We are giving you as many as we get, trying to give you some explanations also wherever possible. Give us a word on Bhupendra Yadav. Rahul Srivastav, you know him well. He's someone who works very hard, but has worked primarily on election management. First time comes into government and governance, very close to Arun Jaitley at one time. So part of the old Arun Jaitley brigade in a way, comes as Labour Minister.
Rajdeep, I think if you see a lot of these portfolio allocations, one line which is clearly showing is trust badi cheez hai. I think that trust element is very critical. Now, if you see the Labour Ministry, Rajdeep, the government with great fanfare brought several labour reforms. All the labour laws which are brought are right now canned, and they need certain amount of extreme hard work with labour unions and others to be implemented. That's one critical reform, Rajdeep, which is stopping a lot of economic investments and perhaps improving the climate as far as investment is concerned. And that's why Bhupendra Yadav is very important.
Okay.
One, it is not an all-consuming ministry, so perhaps it will keep him free also for a lot of political work which he does, not just state election management, Rajdeep, but also management of all the election commission appeals and a lot of legal issues that the BJP has to deal with.
We're getting one more ministerial appointment. Kiran Rijiju from Arunachal has been moved from Sports and Youth Affairs. He will now be the Culture Minister of the country. So you're getting, in a sense, ministers being sort of rejigged. This seems to be musical chairs at one level, Professor Shastri. You know, there are two ways to look at it. One is that this is an overhaul. The other will be that this is musical chairs. Ministers being moved from one department to the other. Yes, with some synergies, but musical chairs. Your response?
Rajdeep, 2 points. One, I think what you said, the rejig has a rationale in trying to bring together ministries which are required to be brought together. And as Rahul just now said, I think the trust factor is very important. You have brought together certain ministries like urban development and petroleum, like maybe sports, youth and information and broadcasting, not keeping in mind rationalization of ministries, but the element of trust that you have in that particular minister. So I think it's both these factors which are working, rationalizing the ministry structure and giving those people who the leadership seems to trust a bunch of ministries which don't seem connected, but then the leadership may believe that these are better people to manage those departments. So I think both these factors are at work. The trust factor and the capacity factor and the rationalization of ministry factor.
When I look at all these appointments so far, though, Raj Chengappa, the headline is still about the people who've got out, not those who've come in. If I was a news editor in the morning, tomorrow morning, as of now, I'd say Mandavia in, Harshvardhan out, Zavdekar out, Anurag Thakur in, Ravi Shankar Prasad out, Mr. Vaishnav in. It's the outs that matter as much as the ins. I'm not still seeing the kind of dynamism that I'm looking for, maybe. Or maybe I have high expectations.
So firstly, let's wait for the entire thing to unfold. There's still, I think, another 25 ministries to go. So we need to see what they're doing on that front. But, you know, let's look at it. What I'd said earlier, mega makeover, that is clear. That's happening. Mr. Modi has seen the crisis. He's acting on it.
No, makeover of musical chairs. Makeover of musical chairs.
I don't agree. I mean, you know, I wanted the synergy. There are, of course, some questions on the synergy, but this kind of alignment of ministries I'd wanted for a long time. I believe that that's the only way you can get things to gel together. I like the health and, you know, chemicals. There was always a conflict. I remember when Anand Kumar was chemicals and fertilizers, you always felt that these two had to be separated because chemicals by itself is such a huge thing in terms of pharmaceuticals and everything else. So there is a separation that is going on. You have good ministers coming in, Dharmendra Pradhan with the skill development, this thing, education and skill development, very, very important thing. I like Piyush Goyal handling industries, commerce and textiles. Textiles is our biggest employment.
Huge employment, yes.
And you have a dynamic minister like Piyush Goyal there who can unleash the energies. He's got all the Plus, he understands commerce very well.
Sure. So the big movers. So the big movers today: Piyush Goyal, Anurag Thakur, Dharmendra Pradhan.
Yeah, let's come to
Hardeep Puri.
Anurag guy. I think
Yes.
yes. Let's
Go
come to Anurag. Right. Here is a really dynamic, a potential chief minister of Himachal Pradesh. I've always believed, who can invigorate that entire. Look at what we're doing with Olympics, right? We might be sending the largest contingent, but look at our medal haul, 1 billion people plus, and we are nowhere close to the potential we have. You need a minister who can lay the foundation. He's handled associations. This is one minister I'd say, okay, you are great at cricket. Let's see what you can do in other sports.
But people
that
said
we've
Kiran
excelled.
Rejuju was also doing a fine job.
He was good. He was good. I'm not saying no.
that's where the argument comes that you're also doing a bit of musical chairs.
Well, fair, look, you also have given Anurag Thakur information broadcasting. He is bilingual. You've seen his kind of briefings with Nirmala. He could virtually translate in Hindi, everything. He had this, there is something about that where we need to see how well you can communicate. I suspect that Javadekar and, Ravi Shankar Prasad are going to be moved into the party to act as their spokesperson. That is one of the weak points that the party had, that they were not as vocal about the government's reforms as they should have been. So maybe they will come, the jobs for them, they may have been dropped from the cabinet, but they are great spokespersons, and they might find themselves talking about it. So, until you see the entire thing unfurl, there will be knots and kinks, and, there could be further room for rationalization
Also,
that is there. So I wouldn't so
Okay,
quickly
so
dismiss
just
the
to
effort
say-
as musical chairs.
Just to say that Kiran Rejuju also gets tourism and Northeast in addition to the Ministry of Culture. So he gets a lift up in that sense. Remember, he was sports and youth affairs. Sarbanand Sonowal, in fact, gets the Ministry of Ports, Shipping, Waterways, and as well as the Ayush Ministry, which was earlier held by Shripad Naik. He also, therefore, is seen as someone with the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. We are told that this will give a key push, the government says, to waterways in the northeast and along rivers, with the experience with the Brahmaputra coming in handy. Remember, he was Chief Minister of Assam, lost out to Hemanta Biswa Sarma in the power struggle that followed when the BJP won those elections there. He moves now to the Ministries of Port, Shipping and Waterways. So we'll have to see where this leaves. Some of these ministries earlier at least used to be handled by Nitin Gadkari, but now Sonowal gets Ports, Shipping and Waterways. He also gets the Ayush Ministry. Shripad Naik tragically had an accident a few months ago and he hasn't fully recovered as yet. Is the MP from Goa and the minister who was in charge of Ayush. So Sarbananda Sonowal is again someone who had to be accommodated in Delhi after he lost out of in the chief ministerial battle in Assam. So there is a bit of political accommodation clearly right down the line. The usual expectation in any cabinet. It's the synergization and the attempt to synergize and the attempt to bring in new faces that perhaps is important. I maintain the headlines are at the moment coming in from the exits as much as they are coming from the inductees in this government at the moment. Sarbanand Sonowal was previously, if I'm not mistaken, was the... Okay, sorry? Okay, there seems to be some confusion now. Kiran Rejuju, we are told, gets the Law and Justice Ministry. So earlier we were being told, let me go through the whole list. I have the entire list now, and I'm going to go through the entire list one by one. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he is the Prime Minister who will also hold the Department of in charge of Public Grievances, Pension, Department of Atomic Energy, Space, all important policy issues. Rajnath Singh, Minister of Defence. Amit Shah, Minister of Home Affairs and Minister of Cooperation. Nitin Gadkari is the Minister of Road Transport and Highways. Nirmala Sitharaman, Minister of Finance and Minister of Corporate Affairs. Shri Narendra Singh Tomar, Minister of Agriculture and Farm Affairs. Dr. S. Jaishankar, Minister of External Affairs. Arjun Munda, Minister of Tribal Affairs. Smriti Irani, Minister of Women and Child Development. All the important ministries unchanged. Finance, Home, External Affairs, Defence remain the same. So no tinkering at the top, continuity at the very top. Piyush Goyal gets a larger pool. He moves from Ministry of, he loses Railways but is Minister of Commerce and Industry. In addition, now Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Minister of Textiles. Textiles, important for job generation. Dharmendra Pradhan moves from Petroleum, Minister of Education, Skill Development, Entrepreneurship. Prahlad Joshi, who was in Culture, now moves to Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, Coals and Minister of Mines from Madhya Pradesh. Narayan Rane, former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, he gets micro, small and medium enterprises. Now, this will be critical because MSMEs have suffered. They've taken a big hit. Nitin Gadkari was managing that ministry. Now it goes to Narayan Rane. So, Mr. Gadkari will handle road transport and highways. MSMEs will be with Narayan Rane. Can he be up to it? That's a big question mark. Narayan Rane has never worked in Delhi in the past. Sarbanan Sonowal, Minister of Sports, Shipping and Waterways and Ayush. Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi stays with Ministry of Minority Affairs. Dr. Virendra Kumar, Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. Giriraj Singh, Rural Development. Jyotiraditya Scindia, Civil Aviation. Ramchandra Prasad Singh, Minister of Steel. Ashwani Vaishnav, he's the big mover again. Big mover today. Ashwini Vaishnav, Railways, Communications, Electronics and IT. So that's a big super ministry that's been created there. Pashupati Nath Paras, brother of the late Ram Vilas, Minister of Food Processing. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat stays where he is, Minister of Jal Shakti. Kiran Rejuju gets Law and Justice. We are sorry that we gave you the wrong information earlier on that one. Rajkumar Singh, Minister of Power, Minister of New and Renewable Energy. Hardeep Singh Puri gets Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Housing and Urban Affairs. Mansukh Mandavia is Minister of Health and Family Affairs after Dr. Harshvardhan was made to resign. Bhupender Yadav is Environment, Forest, Climate Change, Minister of Labour and Employment. Significant ministries. Remember, Minister of Environment will have to handle the climate change challenge. Bhupender Yadav, known to be a hard-working individual, but can he be up to it? First-time minister. Big challenge, straight away a cabinet minister. Heavy Industries, Dr. Mahendranath Pandey, Purushottam Rupala, Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Kishan Reddy from Telangana gets Ministry of Culture, Tourism. Minister of Development of North-Eastern Region. Remember, he was MOS in Home. He's been elevated. Anurag Thakur, another big mover today. Minister of Information and Broadcasting and Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. The others are all MOS's independent charge. Rao Inderjeet Singh is MOS for the Ministry of Statistics Program Implementation. Minister of State independent charge for Ministry of Planning and Minister of State in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. We had thought that there would be a full-time minister in corporate affairs. There is an MOS now, independent charge, Rao Inderjeet Singh from Haryana, from Gurgaon. Dr. Jitendra Singh from Jammu and Kashmir, Minister of State, independent charge of the Ministry of Science and Technology. So, Science and Technology goes to Dr. Jitendra Singh, not with the Prime Minister, but he takes it. MOS, independent charge of the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office. He will also have the MOS in the Personnel, Public Grievances, Pensions, Atomic Energy, Department of Space. So he'll work very closely with the PM there. MOSs, Shripad Yasho Naik, Minister of State in the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, the one representation from my tiny state of Goa. But as I said, he's been keeping unwell. Fagan Singh Kulaste, Minister of State in the Ministry of Steel from Madhya Pradesh, Ministry of State in the Ministry of Rural Development. MOSs, any significant movers? Prahlad Singh Patel is the MOS in the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Ashwini Chaubey in the Ministry of Consumer Affairs. Arjun Singh Meghwal moves to Parliamentary Affairs from Finance. VK Singh, Minister of State in the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways and also in Civil Aviation. No major move for him. Krishan Pal, MOS in Ministry of Power. Rao Sahib Danve, we thought he might quit the cabinet. He is MOS in the Ministry of Railways and Ministry of Coal and Mines. Ramdas Athavale, you can't do without my friend Athavale. Corona is coming. He says MOS in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti, MOS in the Ministry of Consumer Affairs. MOS in the Ministry of Rural Development. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Balian, he's back in the government, Minister of State in the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. MOS has continued. Nityanand Rai, MOS in the Ministry of Home Affairs. Pankaj Chaudhary in the Ministry of Finance. Anupriya Patel, important because she was hoping for a real lift. She's an MOS in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Professor S.P. Singh Baghel, Minister of State in the Ministry of Law and Justice. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, We were looking at how he would move. He's getting MOS in the Ministry of Skill Development, Entrepreneurship and Ministry of Electronics and IT. Remember, he comes with a strong background of having done business in this field of electronics and information technology. Will he play a major role given the fact that you have in Ashwini Vaishnav someone who's going to be handling a super ministry where communication will be one aspect? That will be interesting. Shobha Karanjale from Karnataka, from Udupi, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Bhanu Pratap Singh Verma, MOS in the Ministry of MSMEs. Darshana Vikram Jardosh, MOS in the Ministry of Textiles. Muralidharan, Minister of State in the Ministry of External Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs. Meenakshi Lekhi, MOS in the Ministry of External Affairs and in the Ministry of Culture. Som Prakash, MOS in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Renuka Singh Saruta, MOS in Tribal Affairs. Rameshwar Teli, MOS in the Ministry of Petroleum and Gas and Labour. Kailash Chaudhary in Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Annapurna Devi from Bihar, MOS in the Ministry of Education. Narayan Swamy, Karnataka, MOS in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Kaushal Kishore in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Ajay Bhatt in the MOS in the Ministry of Defence. BL Verma in the Ministry of the Development of Northeast Region and the new Corporation Ministry. Ajay Kumar in the Ministry of Home Affairs. Dev Singh Chauhan in the Ministry of Communications. Just a few more. Bhagwant Kuba from my home state of Maharashtra, MOS in the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and in the Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers. Kapil Patil from Bhiwandi near Mumbai, MOS in the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Sushri Pratima Bhaumik, MOS in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Dr. Subhash Sarkar in the Ministry of Education. Dr. Bhagwat Karat in the Ministry of State in the Ministry of Finance. Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh, MOS in the Ministry of External Affairs. Dr. Bharti Pawar, she is a tribal, comes from a Dindori constituency in Maharashtra, MOS in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Bishweshwar Tudu is the Minister of State in the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Shantanu Thakur from Bengal, from the Mathua community, so that was an important reach out. MOS in the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. Dr. Munjpara Mahendra Bhai, MOS in the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Sri John Barla, who has a remarkable story, comes from a tea worker family, MOS in the Ministry of Minority Affairs. Dr. L. Murugan, Ministry of State in the Ministry of Fisheries. Nishit Pramanik, the other minister from Bengal, MOS in the Ministry of Home Affairs. Whew! That was not bad. That's our new cabinet. Now, is it therefore a new face, a mega overhaul as Raj Chengappa has been positioning it? Is it musical chairs? Is it more about ministerial accountability and those who've exited as much as those who've entered? I think we need to all take a pause. I'm going to press that pause button and then we'll come to you, Raj and Rahul Srivastav. I'm also going to be giving you a little bit on Dilip Kumar. I won't miss out on Dilip Kumar if I'm made to anchor 90 minutes on a day like this. Back in a moment with the comments of our guests. What does this expansion mean? You're watching this extended version